Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of General Robert B. Brown, Commanding General, United States Army Pacific, welcome to Fort Shafter and historic Palm Circle. We would like to extend sincere welcome to our distinguished guests, general officers, members of the Senior Executive Service, and senior enlisted leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the distinct honor of bidding farewell to one team member, Command Sergeant Major Bryant C. Lambert. Command Sergeant Major Lambert flawlessly executed the duties of Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Pacific. His professionalism and mentorship will be missed. Additionally, we have the distinct honor of welcoming a new one-team member, Command Sergeant Major Benjamin Jones, his wife, Mrs. Leah Jones, and their two daughters, Mackenzie and Madeline. Command Sergeant Major Jones will be welcomed as incoming Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Pacific. Please join me in a round of applause. The formation of troops before you consists of Command Sergeants Major from each Major Subordinate Command, Theater Support Command, and Theater Enabling Command, and their unit colors. From left to right, they are United States Army Pacific Headquarters and Headquarters Battalion, Command Sergeant Major Gennaro Penn. 8th Army, Command Sergeant Major Richard Merritt. 1st Corps, Command Sergeant Major Walter Taglikud. United States Army Alaska, Command Sergeant Major Brian Stover. United States Army Japan, Command Sergeant Major Richard Clark. 8th Theater Sustainment Command, Command Sergeant Major Jacinto Garza. 25th Infantry Division, Command Sergeant Major Brian Hester. United States Army Pacific Colors, under the direction of Command Sergeant Major Bryant C. Lambert. 311th Theater Signal Command, Command Sergeant Major Tracy Barlogio. 94th Army Air Missile Defense Command, Command Sergeant Major John Foley. 9th Mission Support Command, Command Sergeant Major Christopher Lindung. United States Army Installation Management Command Pacific, Command Sergeant Major Jason Schmidt. Regional Health Command Pacific, Command Sergeant Major Richard Watson. 196th Infantry Brigade, Command Sergeant Major Kenneth Killingsworth. 500th Military Intelligence Brigade, Command Sergeant Major Tammy Everett. And 5th Battlefield Coordination Detachment, Command Sergeant Major Jose Salas. Music for today's ceremony is provided by the 25th Infantry Division Band under the direction of Sergeant First Class Danielle Turner. The salute battery for today's ceremony is Alpha Battery 37 Field Artillery Regiment under the command of First Lieutenant Russell Hankins. The ceremony will begin with the sounding of attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the rendering of honors, and remain standing for the invocation. The commanding general for today's ceremony is honoring the outgoing and incoming Sergeants Major. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Religious Affairs NCO, Sergeant Major Murphy Morissette.
Let us pray. Oh God, we place ourselves in your presence today and ask that you show favor to Andrea Lambert, Grace Lambert, and Command Sergeant Major Bryant C. Lambert. We pray that you bless this family through their future endeavors. We also ask that you bless Leah, Command Sergeant Major Jones, and the entire United States Army Pacific Command as we move forward. Bless every warrior, Marine, airman, and sailor. Grant us the grace necessary to make a difference for the good in whatever situation we find ourselves in the years ahead. May we draw both physical and moral courage from you that we may serve this great nation faithfully and honorably. I make this prayer through your most holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, to the left of the reviewing stand, on behalf of the soldiers, professional civilians, and families of USARPAC, Sergeant Matthew Pickens, USARPAC HHBN NCO of the Year, will present leis to Command Sergeant Major Lambert's mother, Grace Lambert, daughter, Andrea Lambert, and friend, Tia James, as a token of appreciation. To the right of the reviewing stand, on behalf of the soldiers, professional civilians, and families of USARPAC, the USARPAC HHBN Soldier of the Year, Specialist Sean Allen Robichaux, will present leis to Mrs. Leah Jones and their two daughters, Mackenzie and Madeline Jones, welcoming them to the USARPAC One Team family. The positioning of the colors, the center of the formation, represents their presence at the forefront of the unit during the heat of battle. As the regimental system developed, units were assigned a specific color or number for their regimental colors. This was done to aid in the identification of units and their positions on the battlefield. Their position at the front and center of the formation provided a point for the unit to dress on during parades and rally to during battle. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem and playing of the Hawaii State Song. the relinquishing of responsibilities and heartfelt gratitude for support, guidance, and the opportunity to serve. The passing of the colors from the senior commander to the incoming command sergeant major represents the trust and confidence in the new command sergeant major's leadership and commitment to care for the organization and colors. The placing of the colors from the incoming command sergeant major to the color bearer verifies his confidence that the non-commissioned officer corps will continue to dress on the colors. You will now witness the passing of the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated while Command Sergeant Major Lambert is being presented his service award. Attention to orders. The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress July 9, 1918, has awarded the Distinguished Service Medal to Command Sergeant Major Bryant C. Lambert, United States Army, for exceptionally meritorious service to the government over a 35-year career in positions of increasing responsibility, culminating as the Command Sergeant Major, United States Army, Pacific. Throughout his exemplary years of service, the significant, far-reaching, and lasting effects of Command Sergeant Major Lambert's many contributions greatly enhanced our Army and the defense of the nation. His leadership, professionalism, and valued judgment were critical to those with whom he served and truly showed him to be the epitome of a non-commissioned officer. Command Sergeant Major Lambert's exceptional dedication to duty and distinguished service are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, the United States Army Pacific, and the United States Army. Please join me in a round of applause.
Well, aloha. Not bad, but we got to work on that a little bit. It's a beautiful day. It's a little chilly today. You can tell it's getting near winter time. Let's try one more time. A little bit more motivation for these great non-commissioned officers and soldiers on the field. Aloha. Aloha. There we go. Much better. Now, out on the field, take all controls from the tower here. All right. So listen up. Riflemen, order. Order, colors. Rest. And I want you to, for sure, take this opportunity to make sure you're resting because I'm going through 35 years of a tremendous non-commissioned officer's career, so I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm going to keep it short. There's no way. It won't happen today. Well, thanks for joining us. What an honor today. We farewell one amazing NCO and welcome another and his family and team. I want to welcome Major General Cavoli. Chris, thanks for coming. Tropic Lightning. Major General Ron Clark, our Chief of Staff. Major General Brian Suntheimer, thanks so much for joining us. Other distinguished general officers, our senior executive service. And then we have some just incredible command sergeants majors out in the formation. You heard them announce. That's what is a key in the U.S. Army Pacific. They make things happen. You can see why it's such a tremendous ceremony, because they're in charge and they're going to make it fantastic, no doubt about it. But also we've got the New Zealand senior warrant officer, Clyde Douglas. Thanks for being here. Clyde, where are you at? There you are, right in front of me. Thanks for being here. They're really fantastic. Means a lot. And then PACOM Senior Enlisted Advisor Sergeant Major Spadaro. Thanks for being here. Great teammate. MARFORPAC Sergeant Major McKenna. Thanks so much for being here. And Coast Guard CMC Lewis. Really appreciate it. Just tremendous teammates. I know all the teammates, if they were here, would be here, and really appreciate you all being here for this special occasion. So again, welcome to the change of responsibility for the critical position of Command Sergeant Major, or the Senior Enlisted Advisor for 106,000 soldiers and civilians across the Pacific region. You know, it stretches from Hollywood to Bollywood, polar bears to penguins, 52% of the Earth's surface, and so much going on in this region. The Senior Enlisted Advisor, the Command Sergeant Major for U.S. Army Pacific, a critical position. Non-commissioned officers make us the best Army in the world, the envy of other armies. There's some other armies have great non-commissioned officer corps, but none like ours. And they allow us to empower and accomplish any mission. Today, we will farewell one of our Army's greatest non-commissioned officers. He's a legend. If you go by Fort Bragg in the 82nd, they still talk about him on a daily basis. Unbelievable, and he's a legend here. He's an amazing leader. And we'll also welcome another top-notch NCO, another superstar in his family. And so, tough to say goodbye, but at the same time, great to welcome a new team. And we will never, as Command Sergeant Major Lambert, will always be a part of our family, the One Team Ohana, no doubt about it. So Sergeant Major Lambert began his military career, as you heard in the citation, 35 years ago. 35 years. And I told him this morning, he looks young enough, he could start it all over again. We could re-enlist him tomorrow for another 30 years. He'd be able to do it easy. The incredible foundation that he brought into the military came from his family. And we're so glad that key family members could make it. His mother, Grace, just an amazing lady from Baltimore. She flew in from Baltimore. She raised 6 children, 4 daughters, 2 sons on her own. An amazing woman. She taught Command Sergeant Major Lambert how to deal with adversity and how to make the most out of every situation. In other words, resilience. She taught him resilience, and he's displayed that and that character throughout his entire career. Also, it was fantastic. Last night, had the opportunity at dinner to find out some extra things from Grace. You know, moms always tell all. And despite the distinguished, he's going to be mad at me, but he'll get over it eventually there, Sergeant Major, but despite the distinguished name of Bryant C. Lambert, which is a tremendous name, Grace kept calling him Gus. And I'm like, well, where did this Gus come from? Well, it came from before he was even born. He was designated by the neighborhood. They said Gus, and they were taking bets on when Gus was going to arrive. And so he kept telling his mom, quit calling me Gus, stop it. But I think it's perfectly appropriate. Gus Lambert, I'm going to call him Gus the rest of his life now, no doubt about it. But Grace, boy, you've got to be proud of all your children, and particularly this young man here. What amazing service, 35 years, and you built that character. He's carried with him ever since. What a tremendous job. We're so glad you're here. Thanks so much for making it, and thanks for all you did for your son and your family and for our nation through his service. And then pride and joy for Sergeant Major Lambert. His daughter, Andrea, is here, an amazing young lady. She's 27 years old and flew in from Charlotte, North Carolina. She graduated from UNC Charlotte undergrad. She's getting her master's now in public administration. working at the Charlotte City Council. She's going to be a congresswoman one day. You might want to get on board right now, start the donations, and help her out, because I'm guarantee you she'll be successful. She'll do a great job. She is the, as I said, Sergeant Major, constantly talking about his family because he's so proud, and so it's such an honor to meet Andrea, and we're so glad she's here. Now, they're especially close. A little story that's pretty neat. Andrea would go to his office. He was working hard, long hours, and she'd do her homework off in the corner of the office just to be with her dad, which is so cool. And when you look at all that military kids put up with and do. Then they had a tradition. Every time he went into combat, which is many, many times, she would give him a teddy bear, and he would carry that teddy bear with him. And I know that's hard when you look at him. You think there's no way. He scares soldiers just looking at him. He's so tough. But those teddy bears, soldiers understood what those teddy bears meant, and he took them on every operation and would accumulate them on these operations and always have them with him. So, that's the incredible impact. Andrea, thanks for being such a great daughter. Thanks for your amazing support. I know it meant the world to your dad. And so we just thank you for your great support to your dad, and wish you best of luck in the future for sure. Thanks. So when he initially went into the recruiting office, he made a terrible mistake. He took a wrong turn and went into the Navy recruiting office. And he said he wanted to be an underwater welder. Underwater welder. Well, luckily, the Navy said, no, you should be a CB. He's like, what's a CB? And then he asked, do we have to wear those funny-looking bell-bottom pants? And when they said they did, well, the Navy lost out and the Army won. And he switched over to the Army recruiting office, thank goodness. And he'd seen a movie about airborne soldiers that motivated him. He said, I can do that. So he wanted to be an airborne welder. All right, an airborne welder. Welding in the air is coming down in that chute. I can see it now. Unbelievable. And the recruiter talked him into being infantry, 11 Bravo, didn't give him any details. He was a skinny guy back then. Now he's got biceps that the envy of everybody, but that was from being in the infantry. He started off that way, and just amazing. So airborne welder. Now, to get him ready for basic training, his mom, Grace, bought him a London Fog umbrella, very thoughtful, a tote bag, and a snazzy coat, all of which he thought he could use when he was at basic. He was ready to wear it at basic. Didn't turn out that way. After AIT, about 600 folks took the APFT fitness test to go airborne. Only a couple hundred made it. He was one of those couple hundred. That would change his fate. He'd end up in the 82nd Airborne. Private first class Lambert would deploy to Grenada and do so well. The company commander made him his guidon bearer. They sent him to Recondo School, and that would lead to, as an E4, heading to Ranger School, which is unheard of at the time. Only sergeants and above from the Ranger Regiment were allowed to go, but he excelled at Ranger School. And when he graduated from Ranger School, unfortunately he got PCS orders taking him away from the 82nd Airborne. And he was very distraught, so he went to his battalion, Sergeant Major, and he was an old Vietnam veteran, bayonet scar on his face, a gruffy old guy, and he's like, hey, he kind of blew him off. Go see the division, Sergeant Major, which he never thought in a million years Specialist Lambert would do. But he showed up at the Division Sergeant Major's office, knocked on his door. The rest is history. He would spend 26 years in the 82nd, so it worked. See, that persistence of showing up and get 26 years. And that was led to a string of successes. Some things, the tough Jump Master School, it was like a 50% pass rate he made through Jump Master School. He was the 82nd Airborne Division Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, the Forces Command Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, Ranger Instructor, Drill Instructor, Commandants and Leadership Awards in all schools he attended, and winner of the prestigious Fort Bragg Iron Mike Award of that grueling test there. And you can see that started his legacy that stays today, no doubt, throughout the Army, particularly at Bragg. But one of his most significant roles in that time in the 82nd, he was a platoon sergeant under then Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Stan McChrystal. And he learned a ton on training management, developing leaders, self-awareness. He said later in Afghanistan, he already knew a bunch of concepts and things that would help him immensely from having been a platoon sergeant under Lieutenant Colonel Stan McChrystal at the time, and learned so much. And speaking of deployments, he had 6 deployments, Iraq and Afghanistan, deployed as a division, brigade, and battalion command sergeant major. And throughout them all, by the way, he had Andrea's teddy bears with him, and obviously, that meant so much to him. major commands, 3rd Brigade of the 82nd Command Sergeant Major, and then Division Command Sergeant Major of the 82nd Airborne with Jim Huggins when then Major General Jim Huggins was commanding. And his assignment right prior to U.S. Army Pacific was a very tough one in DAG 357 in the Pentagon as a Command Sergeant Major, trying to sometimes bring common sense into discussions. That was perhaps his most difficult assignment of all, no doubt, in the Pentagon. He excelled there and was selected to come here to U.S. Army Pacific. So here at USARPAC, I would tell you, he's displayed the immediate ability to excel at the strategic level. Really excelled at the strategic level. And his efforts across the Pacific region have enabled our allies, partners, and friends to significantly improve their armies because of their increase in the education and development of their non-commissioned officer corps. Such a key aspect, as I mentioned earlier. They're all learning from him. Trips to places like Taiwan, where they completely changed how they do, from a supported arrangement to partnered with their senior NCOs and working together and learning the professionalism. Bangladesh, same thing, working with their non-commissioned officer corps. 20 nations around the Pacific working the role of non-commissioned officers, how key that is. We also tasked him with examining our lowest level partnerships with allies. How do we improve those? And he really, from his time in the Pentagon, his experience, multitude of combat deployments, he looked at the foreign area NCOs, how key they are, and as a result, you see E7s now have a significant role in our security cooperation for all they bring to security ops, cooperation operations all around the Pacific. He also did an extraordinary job with quarterly non-commissioned officer professional developments. Leader development was a critical priority for him. He never had a shortage of time to invest in fellow soldiers, always investing, showing there's no thing. The minute you meet him, you realize he cares, how much he cares. Absolutely unbelievable. And he's an inspiration because of his 35 years of service to a cause greater than himself that never promised anything but challenges and adventure. An incredible inspiration. He's an inspiration because of his dedication as a father to Andrea and to thousands of men and women serving who came in to be airborne welders like he did, and those that come in for different reasons from all over the world, and his inspiration to them. He inspires those around him, like I mentioned earlier, General Huggins. He retired Lieutenant General Jim Huggins. They were together 21 years, multiple combat tours, so I talked to General Huggins to get some thoughts. And it was just unbelievable. I'm going to highlight a few of them. I can't highlight them all because he just went on and on about how amazing Command Sergeant Major Lambert was. He said, over the years, many in combat, and this is General Huggins, I grew to depend on him to be that voice that always asked if I was doing the right thing, whether it was a well-timed private conversation when the situation was particularly challenging, or in most cases, just asking myself, what would Command Sergeant Major Lambert say or do? How does this decision or action reflect on all the troopers, our partners, and the Army? In many cases, not a word was needed to be exchanged between us, but his presence and impact will always be with me. It always will. He says, to be a good leader, you must first be a good person. And I don't know a better person than Bryant Lambert. That's General Huggins. And boy, we would all agree with that. Anybody that's worked with him. To be a good leader, you have to first be a good person. And don't know a better person than Bryant Gus Lambert. No doubt about it. So thank you. I'm trying to keep it light, Sergeant Major, because this is tough. But thank you so much, Command Sergeant Major Lambert, for your support, your guidance, friendship, teamwork. It's just an inspiration and an honor to serve with you. And your lifelong dedication to the United States Army, to our nation, and selfless service is just unbelievable and a real credit. You will be missed. There's no doubt about it, you'll be missed, but I want you to know that you are always a part of the One Team Ohana, and we will never, ever let you be anywhere where you're not part of that One Team Ohana. So although you start another chapter, you're still with us, and thanks so much for your incredible service. Now, as difficult as it is to lose such a great leader, we're fortunate to have another exceptional leader and his family join the U.S. Army Pacific Ohana. We welcome Command Sergeant Major Ben and Leah Jones and his family. Wife Leah, originally from Kentucky. She and Command Sergeant Major Jones met their freshman year of high school sweethearts, pretty awesome. and married, they obviously married as high school sweethearts, which is pretty rare and incredible. They married in 1991, 26 years of serving soldiers and families. And Leah always remembers what it was like to be a young Army family and the struggles that come with that. And it's been important to her to never forget where the Joneses started. So Leah, welcome to the team. We're so proud to have you. Welcome to the One Team Ohana. And thanks for all you've done for soldiers and families over the years. We have daughter Mackenzie, as you heard, is here. She's 22 in her last semester at Grand Canyon University. Mackenzie, thanks for joining us and traveling here for this. You'll graduate in December with a degree in healthcare administration. Congratulations on that, fantastic. Daughter Madeline here. Madeline's 20 years old. She has her associate's degree in applied science, finished her degree in cosmetology and is a licensed hairdresser. Mackenzie and Madeline both graduated from Leilahua High School in Wahiawa, and I understand Principal Jason Nakamoto is supposed to be here. Thanks for being here, and that great school, all it does up the hill for our military families, for all the kids, a great school. And they both very proud Leilahua Mules, and it was through Leilahua that Team Jones really got to know and love the Hawaiian customs and culture there at the school. Just fantastic. Now, they also have a son, Tanner, who's 25. He couldn't make it. He's over in England, just started with the State Department over in England. He's also a reserve officer, an intelligence officer in the reserves, and an incredibly talented young man. Sergeant Major Jones is coming to us from Fort Bragg, 18th Airborne Corps, where he excelled as the 18th Airborne Corps Command Sergeant Major with Lieutenant General Steve Townsend, and most recently in Combined Joint Task Force Operation Inherent Resolve in Iraq, that tough fight over the last 13 months. He's been in combat and been an amazing example, motivating all service members as part of that task force, including our coalition partners, Iraqi and Syrian partners working with us. Just an incredible job there, not only at Bragg, but then in Iraq, that incredible success. He's, had over 306 patrols, going out and doing that across Iraq. So this is a Command Sergeant Major who's there, like our great leaders, is present and setting the example. Absolutely incredible. Before that time at 18th Airborne Corps, he was right here in Tropic Lightning, 25th Infantry Division, Command Sergeant Major. And I tell you, I got to see him in action up there with Charlie Flynn and the great team in Tropic Lightning. And he just excelled, incredible motivator, and did a great job across the Pacific. So the perfect choice to come back. Now, you may see him on some long runs. He's a heck of a runner. And be ready, he'll want to, when he's out there, he's going to quiz you on George Washington. He's quite a historian of George Washington and all his leadership principles. And those are some darn good ones. He's an incredibly, Command Sergeant Major Jones, an incredibly approachable leader, always available to soldiers and their families. And again, he and Leah have made it their mission to support our troops. And there's no one better to fill that void left by Command Sergeant Major Lambert. So welcome to the One Team Ohana, Command Sergeant Major Jones and Leah and the whole family. We're just thrilled to get you here at this critical time with this important mission for America's Theater Army in the Pacific. Great to have you join the team. For all of you, thanks for being here. You really honor us with your presence, no doubt about it. And once again, we're grateful to have served with such a superb leader as Bryant Lambert, and we're honored to have Ben and Leah Jones join our ranks. Thank you for joining us today. You really honor us with that. And I want to also thank the Tropic Lightning Band, an amazing job. The Salute Battery did an amazing job, and all the soldiers on the field. Just tremendous. Thanks so much for honoring these two great non-commissioned officers. Mahalo, nui loa, one team.
Ladies and gentlemen, Command Sergeant Major Bryant Lambert.
Okay, this is it. Aloha! It's my honor. It's my honor to be here. That you all taking time out of your busy schedule to come and see this ceremony between myself and Command Sergeant Major Jones and his family also. Hey, color guard, you look awesome as usual. I know we have wore you out, but that's okay, because you have resilience. Sergeant Majors and colors out there, outstanding. The band, awesome, great job. We wear you out sometime too, but that's part of your mission set. And sir, I really appreciate you having confidence in my ability and being a great leader to this entire organization and just being approachable, being a strategic leader that can think, that embraced the non-commissioned officer corps like you would not believe. And your friendship, you too, Patty, I just appreciate all those times we were together. It was, it was fun. It was outstanding. It was most definitely awesome. I do want to thank God, my Lord Jesus Christ, for getting me where I am today. Without him, I wouldn't be here. So I truly want to thank God. Clyde, awesome, brother. We had a great time. Your friendship will live forever in my heart. You and I will be friends forever. And Sergeant Major Jones will continue the relationship between our two nation armies. We will embrace each other. He will embrace you too. Thank you. You and Marty boy. I'm gonna give you a round of applause. Right? Other distinguished guests, general officers, sergeants, majors, senior civilians, Sergeant Major Spadaro, I don't know if you're here, Sergeant Major McKinner, and Master Chief Petty Officer Lewis, thank you for your attendance and your friendship and your leadership and your partnership in the joint environment. Commanders, sergeants, majors, soldiers, and leaders, thank you. I want to have a special thanks to a great friend of mine, General Huggins and Melissa. We are really good friends. We've been through thick and thin together, and he's a phenomenal leader. At trust and confidence, I would go to hell and back for him. No, I don't really want to go to hell, but I would go to hell and back, you know, as things get real complex on the battlefield. I would do anything, and he would do anything for me, him and Melissa. I just want to thank them. I want to thank General Petraeus. He taught me quite a bit when I was a first sergeant about planning and echelons of fires and things. You know how meticulous he is, and everything he does is methodical. And I just want to thank him also. And then General McChrystal. The light came on when I was with General McChrystal when it pertained to training management. He is a hard individual. He is a tough individual. 25-mile road march. I did 7 of them with him. And he taught me so much. That's when the light came on. And that professional development, leaders development was true in nature, and I'll put it into action. Sergeant Major Steve England, my mentor there at Fort Bragg. He taught me everything about how to be a sergeant major, how to carry myself, how to be a professional at those levels of responsibility. I was running wild, like a wild man, and he just pulled me aside as a battalion sergeant major and kind of talked to me constantly each and every day. Sergeant Major Steve Cuffey. Cuffey taught me about discipline. He was kind of scared of Cuffey, but he taught me about discipline. He taught me how to approach organizations and how to instill discipline and techniques that you need to use in order for you to be an effective sergeant major. And then, I don't know if everyone knew Charlie Thorpe. I don't know if you all knew Charlie Thorpe, but Charlie Thorpe taught me about, you know, never quitting and the drive, working long hours, putting things into action, putting it down on paper, and then trying to figure it out. But Charlie was really an inspiration also. And then one last person, Private Felder, when I was a young sergeant. Private Felder was a pain in my butt. We chaptered him out of the military. I was trying to chapter him out of the military because he was not a soldier. That's the first time I had to deal with that type of adversity and complexity when it came to trying to figure out how to train and develop soldiers and how to figure things out. I was young too, and so it was very challenging for me. And so I want to thank Felder for that too. He was part of my foundation, and that right there was the drive as far as the leader development piece is concerned. I'm not going to cover my entire bio, just a couple of things. Over the past 35 years, I've learned a lot and so much, and I have gained, I think, a vast amount of knowledge and experience, some good and some bad. But overall, it was a great experience. and I have no regrets. I'm part of a team that is revered and envied by all nations across our globe, as General Brown mentioned. Over the past 3 decades, I've witnessed the Army transform various times in tactics, techniques, procedures, uniforms. I wore the khakis, then the OG 107s, then the chocolate chip, then the BDU, the desert camis, ACUs, now the OCPs. Dress greens, blues, now pinks and greens is coming. It will, and we are going to wear pinks and greens. Well, not me, but you all will. And also, we have to look at how we are educating, we're training and developing leaders because of the dynamic of the environment out there. I've made many friends and have lost several friends, leaders and soldiers. We have paid the ultimate sacrifice, as we all have lost friends who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. As a brigade CSM, we lost 96 who paid the ultimate sacrifice. In my last deployment in 2010, we had 93 who paid the ultimate sacrifice, 600 wounded, 24 quads. I'm not trying to be off color, this is just on my mind. 23 who lost 3 limbs, and 18 who lost single. I will not forget our warriors, the young and the old. They will forever be forged in our history and in our minds. And we must not forget, I will not forget my good friend, Command Sergeant Major Donovan Watts. Sometimes I used to blame myself for him. He was killed in action. He was one of our battalion command sergeants majors, and that sticks in my mind all the time, even when I speak to his mother and we have conversations, but in my mind, he's always there every single day. He's there. The Indo-Asia Pacific, AOR, is maturing rapidly. And yes, the enemy has a vote. As the environment develops and unfolds, we must transform in how we train, like I had said earlier, how we develop and educate our force. While serving as USARPAC Command Sergeant Major, I had 2 priorities in support of the commander's intent and the overarching umbrella of readiness. 1, develop the force through leaders development, and 2, build partner capacity through strategic engagement, exercise, subject matter expert changes, and all other things that we do, pathways and things of that nature, is how we were trying to get after that priority. I set out on a path to accomplish this task. First and foremost, we must change how we think. We want to create an agile leader that can think with creativity, understand strategic application of leadership at their level, not operational, but we know that they have their actions will have strategic implications. And be critical thinkers, and have an expeditionary mindset, able to perform in any type of environment and under any condition. More than ever than before, thrive in the unknown. And when you look at the unknown and ambiguity, like the boss always says, it's going to be a tough fight. So we have to train our leaders and soldiers to understand that. I try to foster and enforce an environment that provides strength in those areas through leaders development. Again, as we strengthen those areas, I figured it will assist our soldiers and leaders in their ability to make decisions with little or no information. Because we will fight in a contested environment. When you think about mega cities, when you think about the complexity of operations from linear to asymmetric and distributed type operations. I think leaders development provided a foundation. If leaders development isn't taking place, then we know dissemination of information isn't getting down to the lowest level, which affects our organization and ability to execute mission command effectively. And the building partner capacity is critical and is very complex. We build defense relationship at the strategic level and truly partner at the tactical level or lower. it was pretty tough. Even Pathways was helping us to achieve access, to achieve what we were trying to achieve when we was dealing with the partnership. And most of the time, when we was out there, we had to understand our partners. We had to teach our leaders and soldiers to understand each partner in which they were training and developing with. So imagine a young soldier that departs here on the Pathways and go to 3 different countries with 3 different languages, capabilities, and things of that nature, and we have a private that have to communicate and can't speak the language. Let me tell you, that is tough, but Pathways is changing the way our soldiers think. It is helping, and it is assisting, and it is making us prepared. We're building readiness, and also we are sustaining readiness. And with our partners, we will continue to partner with all those nation armies out there. We will continue to build and deepen those relationships because it's important. We don't want something to happen and to be the first time that we engage with our partner nation. So in reality, it's a recon. It gives us opportunity to plan and prepare. So in the leaders development, I thought with our partners that at one time that leadership was universal. Leadership is different. So I figure I will have to approach it and look at utilization versus the application, because we are utilized differently in each one of our armies. So I have to look at the application, whether it is flexibility, whether it is increased responsibility, or we have organizations or nation armies out there, as in the New Zealand Army, that are empowered. So I have to have a strategy and had to use the sergeants, majors, and commanders. And I want to thank everybody for their support as we executed engagements at the tactical, operational, and strategic level. I really appreciate that. Sergeant Major Jones, awesome. You're here at the right time. You're the right person. This is awesome. You and Leah, you're going to make a great rendition to USARPAC, like the boss said. You have the experience, and you got the energy, too. No ifs, ands, buts, or what. So congratulations to you and your family, and Godspeed in your success. To my mother, Ma, I love you. I wouldn't be here first and foremost if it wasn't for God, but at the same time, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And I just want to thank you for all those years of support. I can tell someone was praying for me in all the little combat operations that we were on and situations that we got in, and used to tell me that you were praying for me. I want to thank you for that, Mom. I love you, and I hope to see you even more now that I am retired. Poo-poo, you know the deal. You endured a lot. I was never there. I was never home half of the time. And, you know, I was in the field. You know how the 82nd is. I was in the field all the time, or deployed. And every time I came home, you gave me a hug. Every single time. But anytime I left the house, she was right there in the vehicle with me. I couldn't move without Poo-Poo being there with me. I just appreciate everything that you are doing in your life. I will support you 110%. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your accomplishments. But you say you want to be we talked about a congresswoman. You just can't be on social media. You guys got to watch what you're saying, you know. Because it will come back and bite you, you know. But anyway, thank you, Poo-Poo, and I love you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You know that, right? Tia, thank you for visiting. First time meeting you. You were very successful, also as a young lady, too. And I thought it was phenomenal that you came out with my family and just have fun and chill and do all these different things. You got a unique personality. And in closing, I just want to thank everyone for attending the ceremony. And again, I'm humbled by your presence. It's bittersweet, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter of my life. You know, the strength of our nation is our Army. The strength of our Army is our soldiers. The strength of our soldiers are our families. That is why we are Army strong. And I just want to say, I'm out. One team, Army strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, Command Sergeant Major of the United States Army Pacific, Command Sergeant Major Benjamin Jones.
Thank you. Standing before you today on this historical field are the units that make up the United States Army Pacific Command. And I am truly honored and humbled to be joined in this remarkable ranks. Ikomo mai, distinguished guests, general officers, command sergeant majors, command senior enlisted leaders, soldiers, DoD civilians, family members, and our dear friends around the community. First and foremost, thank you all for attending today's ceremony. I know everybody is super busy, and so with that being said, I know your time is valuable, and I will keep my remarks short. A special thanks goes out to the 25th Infantry Division Band, led by Sergeant First Class Turner. That's absolutely phenomenal, and as you all know, an Army band always adds that special touch in everything they do, especially when it comes to ceremonial events, so thank you. And what about that firing battery, led by Lieutenant, I believe, they're still out there, Lieutenant Hankins and Sergeant First Class Diaz. Please join me in giving them another round of applause. You can rest out there too, there, firing squad. Well, it's truly great to be back on the island and just to see all the familiar faces again. But before I continue on, I just want to say thanks to my lovely wife, Leah, and my amazing kids for supporting me throughout my military career. Without hesitation, you all inspire me to be a better father, a husband, but most importantly, a better soldier. General Brown, Patty, and Command Sergeant Major Lambert, thank you for the warm reception you have given Team Jones upon our arrival to the island. Also, sir, thank you for selecting me to be the next USARPAC Command Sergeant Major. You will not regret making that decision. Leah and I are truly excited and looking forward to joining and working alongside you and Patty, as well as the rest of the USARPAC Ohana. Command Sergeant Major Lambert, well, I think it's okay to call you Gus now. I want to personally thank you for being an awesome mentor over the years and giving me a world-class right seat ride during this transition phase. Also, thank you for your incredible service to our nation. Best of luck as you start your new chapter in life, and I know you'll be very successful in whatever you do, and you're going to make a huge impact wherever you go. For all those that are out there on the field that makes up this amazing command, just know that you'll get 110% from me. That's morning, noon, and night. And I want everybody to understand this. I will make myself available, I will be accessible, and I'm definitely approachable. Please continue to keep our service members and their families that are currently deployed around the world in harm's way in your thoughts and prayers as we enjoy this special moment today. May God bless the United States Army Pacific, our great country, and our way of life. One team, Pacific strong, Army strong, mahalo.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song and remain standing for the retiring of the colors.